Hey, Lick Fairies, and welcome back to another book review. Today I'm going to go over thrillers that I recommend. So let's get into it. My Sister, the Serial Killer. Y'all, that's the book. Okay, so what you need to know about this book is definitely in the title. The sister, she's the older sister, and her little sister is, in fact, a serial killer. And I felt bad for the sister in the beginning, but then towards the end, I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling too bad for you because you're putting up with all this. First of all, her sister and her mom are just era. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they're era. They treat her like crap, but yet, which I can understand because she loves her mom and her sister. But at some point, you got to draw a line. You got to dissociate yourself at some point when all they're giving you is crap, and you're over there trying to help them. Girl, bye. Anyways, her sister, so she works at a hospital and she's like the head nurse or whatever, and she has a thing for this doctor. Her sister, knowing her background, comes around and she's like the prettier sister or whatever, and she comes around and she snags her doctor that she has a thing for. And she's in her mind like, no, she can't do this to him. So she's trying to get like trying to make her see how wrong it is for the things for her extracurriculars what she be doing. And yeah, so it's a pretty good, it's not as funny. I thought this was going to be like a comedy thriller kind of thing. It's not as funny, but it is still a good decent read. So there we go. Brooklyn by Tracy Brown. Well, this is not really a thriller, but more like a urban tale kind of thing, but I really enjoyed it. Brooklyn will have you trying to defend her, but then she turns around and just loses your trust again. But you keep trying to be there for her. It's just she keeps going downhill. And I was not expecting it, but after every event, it just gets more and more chaotic. But it's definitely going to draw you into the story and not want to put it down. Brooklyn is a church going girl. Her dad was a pastor, and her parents were really, really strict, which caused her to act out more. She got involved with this drug dealer. He was a son from one of the members of her church. She got involved with dealing, and that's how she kind of got in the game. She goes through a journey, okay? Brooklyn goes through a a journey, honey, okay? Let me just tell you, she has built relationships and everything only to get those torn down. You're going to want to read this book and see what she got into. It will keep you on the edge of your seat cuz girl, what are you thinking at this point? What are you thinking at this point? It's a whole show, okay? It says it on the back too. She ends up being murdered, but it's about who did it because she burned so many bridges that it's crazy. It's crazy. So this you just you want I wanted nothing more to be on Brooklyn's side, but she just made it really, really hard to defend her. Uh, but yes, this is a good read. I definitely recommend this one. So this is one of my dollar store finds. This is Fake by Erica Katz, and this gave The Devils Wear Prada, but in the artsy world. To me, in my opinion, that's the kind of feel I got from it. But in the artsy world, so the main character is a copier, so she copies paintings, photographs, things like that for billionaires and everything. They sell it. She works for a company that does this. And one of the billionaires offered her a job to be her personal copier, only to turn out things are not what they seem. And the book, throughout the story, it bounces back and forth between her being investigated by the police or being investigated by the FBI and her story leading up to that moment. So it was pretty good. The billionaire really took and flipped her life around. So she started experience living life in luxury. So she, private planes, fancy hotels, new fancy friends, and things like that, which I kind of enjoy too because I like to like be sucked into that lifestyle a little bit, just to enjoy a little bit of the finer things in life. So that's where I get that from. But I think this was pretty worth the read. And again, this was one of my dollar store finds. Rated this a 4. Okay, so this next book, I I just love it. You guys know, okay, so by now you should know that I'm a sucker for covers. I love the colors. Covers, look at this. This cover, I've been seeing it. My couple trips to Barnes and Noble, I've been seeing it. I'm like, oh, that looks good. Not yet, not yet, because I'm here for specific things, right? I finally got this book, and I'm so glad that I finally got this book. The cover, amazing. The story, I'm gonna try to explain it as best as I can without sounding like it's all over the place. Okay. A story that bounces between the past and the present. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the present. So Shanice has struggled with depression, anxiety, and all that in her life. It's just kind of going downhill at the moment. Her boyfriend just broke up with her, so she's trying to find another place to live as well. And then she just actually quit her job. This is all in the beginning of the book. She has her grandmother and her dad. Her grandmother actually started to clean out her house because she's going to be moving because it's a big house, whatever. So she gives her this really big, creepy painting. It's a self portrait painting of their old family friend. Okay. And she's like, I don't know what to do with this painting. So, so she has this huge painting. It's a self portrait, and it's from a lady back in the Roaring 20s or whatever. Her self portrait. So she went to go get an appraisal done. The painting is worth a lot of money, okay? A lot of money. The person that did the appraisal was giving really weird vibes, so she's like, I'm gonna stay away from you. You're not gonna have my painting, none of that. And he's just like hardcore with like, no, he's trying to raise a bar, but he's also being kind of aggressive. So she's like, how important is this painting? So she's also a writer, so she started digging into the history of the painting and the painter and finding out some facts about them. It's really good because it's connected to her. And so the things that she's finding out, she's writing this paper or she's writing this article about it. So once she has this article, her friend was an editor, had um, told her, hey, this millionaire guy wants to see the painting because he's also connected to it. So in the midst of this time, she's finding a new boyfriend, which is kind of sus. He's sus, definitely sus. And I knew this, he was sus. Because I'm like, all your actions are saying something. Okay. They're saying something. So she goes and takes her boyfriend to meet this guy, and they're at this huge estate in New York, whatever. And he's offering her over $1 million for this painting, saying, yeah, this lady painted it for my great 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 grandmother or whatever. And trying to take it off her hands. The story goes deeper with that, and I don't want to say any more just to give it some reveal. The other part of the story is Esty. So she's actually the woman in the painting, and this is back in the Roaring 20s. She is a struggling artist in New York. She met this older woman, and she kind of took her under her wing, and she was like very, very rich. She took Estelle under her wing to paint for her. She even housed her, gave her her own apartment and everything. So she does paintings for her and she sells them and things like that. Things take a left turn. Estelle ends up falling in love with the godmother, which she called her the godmother. She ends up falling in love with the godmother's son, and I can't say much. I almost said some stuff. Um, anyways, more of the story is there's lots of twists and turns and unexpected surprises in here, and I love that. I'm a sucker for that. My favorite genre is thriller, and this was definitely giving. It was from the very first page. It's chaotic. It's not too confusing, but it's gonna be like, oh, what is this thing talking about? What's she talking about? What's happening here? So trust me, read on. It's great. Yeah. It's one of my favorite thrillers. Definitely, 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 definitely. Okay. Poor Sleeping Girls Lie. Oh my gosh, guys, look at the cover. Look at the cover. Look at the cover. Sadie, Sade, however you want to say her name. She started boarding school because her father just has passed, and she's always been homeschooled, and she always wanted that, that real high school feel. So she transferred herself into a boarding school. Okay. The boarding school, this definitely gave like a fall vibe. The boarding school was, how I'm picturing it, is like a huge Hogwarts kind of stone, gray stone castle kind of building kind of thing. That's what I'm getting from it. She enrolled herself into this boarding school and she made a friend. Her friend was actually her little tour guide, also her roommate. So on the first day, she's showing her around and everything. And then she becomes missing, right? So while people are out looking for her, she's trying to get acquainted to the school and also try to help with that. She ends up becoming friends with the popular girl group, and they're just uncovering a lot of secrets about the school and about people at the school, trying to figure out, all while trying to figure out where that missing girl is that helped her on the first day of school. It was a lot happening in this book, but it was not hard to understand. It was just a lot happening in here that it's kind of hard to explain. But again, unexpected reveals and the twist in here is unreal. I was not expecting the end at all. It blew my mind. So without saying too much on this one, I definitely think you guys should pick this up and read. There's another one by this author. I don't want to say her name because I don't want to butcher it. There's another book by this author called House of Cards, and I heard that one was really, really good. So I think I'm gonna go and get that one and then tell you guys how that one is. But as for this one, top tier. Top tier. Okay, lastly, I listened to the audiobook of this one, Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This actually was kind of really, really good. I don't know. I think this didn't get a lot of good reviews, but I liked it. It was really creepy, and I love a good creepy book. A husband and wife has drove up to, I don't know where. They lived in New York, and they drove up to the middle of nowhere in a snowstorm to see this house. Once they get to the house, they're waiting for the realtor. The realtor never shows up because it's a big storm outside. So they gotta, excuse me, they gotta be stuck for a couple days or whatever. So they find out that this house was owned by a really popular therapist that went missing years ago. The wife actually went exploring around the house, but she always had this creepy feeling around it. Things started moving, started missing. Things just started happening around the house that was really, really creeping her out. And her husband's like, no, we're fine. There's nothing, no one here. We checked everywhere, whatever. So she goes to explore some more and she ends up finding a secret room with the therapist recording her tapes and everything of her sessions with her patients. And she's listening to these patients and she's listening to she's finding it really, really creepy. Okay. And some secrets are coming out. And this one is another one with a big reveal at the end. And actually a couple big reveals. They're just going through the motions of being stuck in the house, and all her stuff is still there, which is making it even more creepier. The husband would have made me so upset because, like, I'm trying to tell you, this is not where this was, and you're not listening to me. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. Did someone else do it? And it's a really, really big house at that. No, 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 no. We're gonna have to try to drive down this snowstorm. I don't even care. I'm not saying. Anyway, but he just was not trying to hear it until like the very end, until like it was too late. I'm just gonna tell y'all the ending. It had me gagged. Okay, it had me gagged. Just that was definitely like a 5 star for me. 5 star for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked more content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, fairies.